I know it's gonna seem like I'm beating up on Baltimore. I'm beating up on Maryland. But the reason I talk about these things is because it's important. It's important for people to see what happens when you have terrible leadership or leadership that has no interest in helping the people and only interested in enriching themselves, allegedly. What it can do to a city and or state. And this right here, this is a prime example. What's going on YouTube? It's your host Bruce GNT, and we're here to talk about downtown Baltimore, right? Suffering because businesses are closing and they're leaving the area, and it's affecting not just the public that live in those areas, but the workers for those companies and those businesses. So let's jump right in.
Downtown Baltimore businesses continue to close their doors, leaving employees without jobs and residents without restaurants, shops, and hotels. Fox 45's Jeff Abel spoke with one economist on why owners are packing up shop.
And it used to look beautiful over here.
Those strolling through the Inner Harbor today were discovering what little is left.
Every time you turn around, something's closing.
Downtown, businesses are quickly vanishing. The most recent vacancy was the Sheraton Hotel, a cornerstone of the Inner Harbor. But today, its name stripped from the building. The hotel is vacant. 69 employees are out of work. Morton's Steakhouse, which also is located in this building, has shut down too.
There's still this perception that downtown is dangerous and people are not coming.
Other businesses like P.F. Chang's, H&M, The Fudgery, they all once thrived here, and they've now died here.
And this guy right here, he said something that's pretty important. He said that there's a perception that downtown's still dangerous, so a lot of people don't go there, they avoid it. I could believe that, and honestly, I think that plays a decent part. But there are many other cities and states that have that moniker, that have that idea and that notion that they're dangerous, and yet they're not suffering for the same reasons, right? They're suffering for other reasons, so don't get me wrong, they are. But they're not suffering due to people having this perception that this is going on. I believe there's a little bit of truth in that. I still hear about what goes on in Baltimore based off the news and then what people talk about in my comments. And seemingly, it may be a perception, but there's some basis of truth in that. Along with that, right? If it's not getting foot traffic from its own people, what does that tell you? Maybe it's not just the crime or the perception of crime, is that there's no money flowing through that area in the first place. I could be off. I could be 100% off, but the proof is in the pudding. All these businesses are leaving because they don't have foot traffic, because they don't have the people coming in there and saying, you know what, I want to spend my money here. It could be a pricing issue where it's like, okay, things are too expensive and they don't see the point because they could get a product better somewhere else. But yeah, look at your elected officials.
How can it be that that central meeting point, the pavilions, are vacant? The Galleria is vacant. How is that possible? Because a couple of decades ago, that was not the case.
Because the city has focused largely on developing areas outside of the downtown district, economist Anabon Basu says downtown is paying the price.
So we've moved the deck chairs around. And the problem is that would have been okay if we were growing the city's economy. If there are more employers, many more residents, that's okay. But what we've done is we've basically caused downtown Baltimore, historic downtown Baltimore, to be vacated.
Everything is so expensive. So they got to bring the prices down so people can come out and be able to spend the money.
Next week, the Cheesecake Factory, which moved into the Inner Harbor 30 years ago, will be shutting its doors. Basu says the city cannot afford to lose downtown.
There's a part that leadership plays in that, because if they're not doing anything to invest in the city, if they're not doing anything to invest in the people, to invest in the people that want to bring jobs there, the businesses, then what's going to happen? What's going on right now? And yet your mayor has a very, very, very expensive car. And he has people underneath him that make a lot of money.
Cannot give up on the historic central business district. We need to find a way to grow the city's economy and to bring the historic central business district into it.
Jeff Abel, Fox 45 News.
Yeah, like I said, the residents of Baltimore need to be looking into that. All right, I did a video talking about how your guys' mayor and the people under him make quite a bit of money, and I think there's some cases of people underneath the mayor that make more than the governor of your state. That's like the top position. Y'all know that, right? Look, I don't know what I could say. I don't know what I could do to make you guys open your eyes and look and see that, okay, something funky is going on here, because how is it that these people are getting paid so much? Your city's declining. And yet no one's looking around going, wait a minute, where's all this money going? The BCYF, right? The Baltimore City Youth Fund. They're getting all this money. I did videos about it. Y'all can go check it out. And yet there's no investment in your city because businesses are leaving. Come on now. Come on. The writing's on the wall at this point. I'm not saying that people are taking money. But what I am saying is that something fishy and funky is going on here. And it's up to you guys to pay attention to it. Or move. And let Baltimore fall. One or two. But it's not my city. It's your guys'. Well, you guys already know, Jill. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Comment down below. Tell me your thoughts. Do you feel like there's something more to this when it comes to, Baltimore declining as a city? Because seemingly, right, money is flowing. Money is flowing. When you look at elected officials, I'm going to keep talking about it. Money is flowing. When you look at these nonprofits that's supposed to help the community, money is flowing. So what is going on that the city is declining to where businesses are leaving? Why? Why is there no foot traffic? These are questions that need to be asked. And I want to hear your opinion. Let me know down in the comments below. But that's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.